Right, we got the hook set on this 311, and yeah. So if you've got one of these and you're gonna take a whack at it, you know, my channel is about me learning how to fix sewing machines and then getting pretty good at it. But the hook timing is almost never the problem on class 15 machines. If there's an issue with the hook, there's usually like more significant damage, such as these gears actually being stripped completely out, or I've seen on several Brother machines that the shaft, which is stamped in the middle, and I've seen it on one or two other machines, the shaft is crimped in. There's machines where they crimp in the center here and you can see the shaft and where it gets crimped on. And the crimp, where they crimp this drive onto the shaft, will fail, and then this will slide around on the shaft because of that failed crimp. But it's very rare that the actual timing itself goes out on this style of machine. It's usually related to some kind of failed part and not just not simply an adjustment failure. It's usually a part that failed, and then when you reassemble it, you of course have to do the adjustment when you reassemble it. But if you get in here and you're trying to fix your machine and discover that the gears seem to be okay, unless you're replacing gears, don't worry about the timing on these machines. Also, it's really easy to like look and see that, you know, the hook retracts to the right place and it comes down to the 6 o'clock position. So that's the correct timing for this machine, and if it's not making stitches, it's probably a needle bar height or some other adjustment. Timing is just a thing that everyone finds easy to say. But we got to get the case back together, and this is, you know, the end of a long line of Janome machines that have very similar case assembly. The 385 385 from that Kenmore supplied to Sears have similar cases where they split and the front comes off and then the back is removed. So when you put it back together, you need to put the back on first and find all of the screws that you need to put in. Let's see. And I should have taken a closer look at some of these screw holes. In the top, under the handle, there appear to be 2 self-tapping screw holes. And so I'm trying to look through this random assortment of screws to find self-tapping screws that could go under there, but I'm not finding 2 screws that match. So I'm going to have to go carefully through this and, double check. 2 matching screws. So I'm going to put these matching screws in through, except they're supposed to be captured screws, it looks like. Alright, that was the thing I forget. Typically the screws up top here you don't have to remove to get the case apart, so take this off. And then put, let's see, what do we got got here? Oh, okay. So there's a plastic hole here and a threaded hole there. All right. I'm going to try this screw. So this is a metric machine thread screw on this side that will clamp. And then the other side is going to be a single self-tapping screw. So I need to find, that looks like a good candidate for that hole. A single self-tapping screw. Yeah. There. Now with these two screws in place, the cover can go on. Let's see. The early versions of these covers didn't snap together on anything. They were all clamped. So when you put them on, you just have to get them in place and get the screws in. Make sure the handle is facing the right way before we Alright. Now with those two screws in and that one in, this hole is open, so it must be a self-tapping screw into the front. And then yep. So we'll get our front section. The front of these, when they've got the full bottom panel in and it's not separate, it's easier to put them on with the machine laying down like this. So you see we got to get over the foot, and then there's a tab that goes behind the door, so I have to arrange the door just right. And now, get the reverse pulled through. And work the case back together. They took out every screw except for the one inside here, right behind this hook that clamps the top front of the case on. So all the screws were out except for that one, and that was keeping things in the way. Alright. Got a machine screw with the big washer style head for the bottom side here, which reach carefully in behind the LED light and hold the two sides of the case together while we tighten it. And then I'm going to get this self-tapping screw in from the back side here, and I've got 3 self-tapping screws left. This is the oddball one, so I'm going to put this in this hole. There we go. Back it up and feel that we've got our threads matched up. This screw is always a bit longer, so I'm going to take the longest machine screw that I have and get that to go in. Yep. All right. Got the screw behind this bobbin door. On the bottom we got 1, 2, 3 screw locations. And I've got a lot of self-tapping screws left over for this. But we'll put these ones with the washer style head in on the very bottom here. Oh, except the hole there is not big enough for this washer head, so no, I'm definitely going to use the washer. That's the thing about if you take this apart and don't keep working on it or label all your screws, you can lose track of where they go pretty easily. And then I have to make a series of guesses about what to do. Alright, of the screws I was given, I'm going to stick this one in here, and then I think I'm going to leave these 2 holes until later and maybe go find some other screws. I mostly just want to get this together enough to finish testing it. So that was that. And we'll throw the needle plate on, and actually that's the thing I need to do. Check our needle and hook adjustment. Alright, quick check of the hook scarf clearance since this machine was such a wreck when it arrived. But that looks good, and the needle bar height was a little bit high, but I moved that down to the correct position after the hook timing was set. So this should be ready to go. All threaded up. This thread's like a lot of the other machines on my channel, so I'll just link that up. And remember to engage the machine. And we've got full width zigzag happening. Excellent. Our top tension is very low, or our bottom tension is very high though. I didn't actually feel this. Oh, that is a real high bobbin case. There we go. There. That bobbin case feels better, and the upper tension is a little bit soft, but I don't really want to adjust it if I don't have to. So we'll see what happens here with a softer bobbin case and a little higher top tension. Alright. very good. So it's hard to see because I got white on pink, not an easy to see set of colors, but the stitch is looking good for a machine that appeared as just an assortment of parts after a failed repair. But you shouldn't be afraid to do this yourself. Just you know, take some photos, take notes, keep track of all your parts and work carefully. And if you know, get to a spot where you don't know what you're up to, feel free to try and get a little help before things get worse. So I'm gonna find, because I already have in my like extra screw dish on the bench here from taking parts machines down. I already have extra screws that should fit this machine, so I'm gonna finish up by going underneath and putting a couple more screws in the bottom so it'll be held together better. And then this end cover, it appears that it connects onto this plastic bracket, so it must have a one of these remaining self-tapping screws must go in it, which is a modification. The earlier version of this machine, there was a metal bracket here with a metal screw, and you can even, when I was putting this together, I observed there were some old tabs on the inside that are places where there used to be other screws for fastening this body together. So they've made some small modifications, but this is a machine they've been making for since the 90s, maybe 2000s, something. It's very similar to Kenmore's, and they haven't made a Kenmore in 20 years, so yeah, I'm going to finish this up, and I'm glad that I was able to get it reassembled for the customer, and hopefully they'll get a little more sewing out of it before they need to invest in another machine.